It's International Week. And what better thing to do than to predict who's going to finish in the Champions League spots in 2025-26 season? Let's find out right here on Toon Tactics TV, folks.
Oh, brilliant from Cher. And now Murphy can take on the shot. Bobby and Cher win!
All right, folks. Good evening. I hope you guys are well. And I'm super, super excited about tonight's show. Not only do I have our illustrious guest, Bobby Fairview, here, one of our friends of the channel. I'm going to show him in just a moment. But we're also going to be doing tonight, we're going to be doing some informed estimations, guesswork as to how the league table is going to pan out. And you guys are going to be fully. I'm going to need you guys because we're going to be interacting. We're going to do a poll, and I'm going to see what you guys thoughts about where teams are going to end up. We're going to be looking at previous league tables with where the clubs are finished, their transfer business, and we're going to look at their squad for the top 8 clubs and for the big 6. Because you have to include Man United and Tottenham, who we didn't finish in the top 6. God bless them anyway. But before we do that, let me without further ado get our special guest on, Mr. Bobby Fairview. How are you doing, sir?
I am well, Philip. Big up to you. How are you doing?
As always, sir, very well. Living life to the full. Very, very blessed.
I'm happier that the transfer window is now closed.
Oh my goodness gracious! The therapy sessions can be put. The therapy sessions can be put to one side, well, for a while anyway, and we can move on. Really, I hope. So, great to have you, sir. Great to already see folks in the chat. We've got tons of stuff we're going to be talking through tonight. But let me talk to the folks in the chat and welcome the folks in. Good to see you, Kim Cam. In fact, let me just do this first of all. Yeah, good to see you, Kim Cam. God bless you. Even to all the Toon Army, even to you, sir. Adrian Pickett, as always, Mr. Consistent. God bless you, Adrian. Good to see you. Goatfather. Evening, Philip and Fairview. Yes, sir. Good to see you, Goatfather.
Big up Goatfather.
Yeah, big up Goatfather. Are we doing predictions? Then Newcastle's 5th again. Then it's up to the English clubs it's up to the English clubs to well in Europe, to do well with Europe for the Champions League spot. Well, speaking of are we doing predictions, folks, you might see, if I take this off, this line here. Now, we're going to be doing the poll. Now, because this is 2 things, actually. This ties in 2 things at once. Like, share, and subscribe. So because I'm not monetized yet, we haven't got to 1,000. We have to get to the 1,000 mark, 1,000 subscribers in order for the channel to get monetized. I can't do like the YouTube poll live. You know how you guys see a lot of your favorite channels, you've got the live YouTubes there? I can't do that till I'm monetized. So what I've done is I've set up a separate poll on this link right here. And if you click and you go on it, let me show you guys right now while I'm talking about it so you know it can be done. Let me show you what we're going to be doing here. Here we go. So here you get to rank from 1 to 10 which teams are going to finish where. So say for instance you've got Liverpool, Nottingham Forest finishing 2nd, Brighton, Aston Villa, whatever, Chelsea, Newcastle United. Then you scroll down and then you submit your rankings. And then from there, we'll be able to see at the end of the show, where do folks think the teams are going to finish. Now, this is while obviously me and Mr. Fairview are going to be doing, we're going to be going through each team. We're going to be talking about their transfer business. We're going to be talking about where they finished previously in the league. And we're going to be showing their current squad as it is, to hopefully give us a more informed choice. So great. And I'm going to keep on reminding you folks. So this is the link you see at the bottom here. I've also, you see at the top of the comment section, I've started. That's the link on there, guys. So please do participate. Please do engage, as well as like, share, and subscribe. We want to know from you guys, where do you think the teams are going to finish? And we'll give our tables at the end as well. Cy Robson, even if Philip in the chat, even to you, Cy. Leighton War. Sorry, I'm just going to say Leighton. My apologies, sir. What were your thoughts on the Watermead's appearance in today's game? I wish I saw. I was out jogging. I was in two minds, but I have to keep the cholesterol down. So we'll have to see. I did watch the Watermead's game against. It was a semi-final in their version of the FA Cup, and I thought he was good. He scored I think he scored and he got an assist as well. So yeah, so I thought he played well. I can. People were. I don't know if you saw Bobby. They interviewed Voldemar, and they said, "Who's your favorite German of all time?" Now, part of me thinks he was trolling, but part of me,
Kai Havertz.
he said, "I have Kai Havertz." But, so I don't know if he was trolling, but he has got a Kai Havertz, Berbatov, Bergkamp-ish kind of profile about him in the way he plays. So I wasn't overly surprised by it. So I thought that was interesting. And he did say it with a smile. Ginesta Wood Adams says, good evening, Philip and Bobby and the chat. Good evening to you, sir. David Bates says, we finished fifth with all goals on. Make sure you guys let me know. Click on the link below and give me your rankings. I'm going to keep on reminding you guys throughout the show to give me your rankings. We're going to go at the end to the show and see where you guys have got us. So Liam, no, it was good to see. Oh, sorry, before I get to Liam, I think I missed out David. David H, I expect our new CEO, yes, has been appointed today, has put the wind up Spurs and hence Levy falling on his sword. That is something. What did you think of that, Bobby? Mr. Levy leaving Tottenham. What was your thoughts on that?
Look, I think the timing is right. He probably outstayed his welcome for a year or two too long, but I think he needed to see the completion of the stadium. And he's leaving the club in a pretty good place. I think they missed out on quite a bit of prize money for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
He would always regret not investing in Pochettino, but I think moving on is the right thing for that club. Now the question is what comes next, because it could go one or two ways.
Either up or down.
Exactly. There's never a calm middle.
Never. Exactly. So lots of things to go ahead there. I wonder if we're going to see some Qataris coming in. I know there was some whispers about that. Liam Knowles says, evening Philip, finally getting, good to see you, Liam, by the way, always a blessing. Evening Philip, finally getting Hopkinson on board. Yes, absolutely. We can move on sponsors and partnerships with a man who knows how to play with the big boys. Stadium with square garden, multi-purpose usage. I love that idea. Phenomenal. Yes, and we've got all the regular folks. We've got Aaron. We've got evening to you, Aaron. God bless you. Martin Bland, always a blessing to you, see, sir. God bless you. But Levy still owns 20% or 25% of what Mr. Knowles is saying. Aaron Camp says, I'll be honest, I expected a bit more from Wolfman. I like that, Wolfman. I felt he could have dropped deep and tried to get him more involved in the game. Maybe that was the tactical ploy from Nagelsmann. If it's on YouTube, I watched a full game of who did he play for before? Stuttgart against who did they play? Sheshko's old team, Leipzig. Watch that game, save full match, and you'll see. I thought he had a good game. Goatfather says, website not working for me. I signed up with my Google account and getting errors. Oh gosh, if it doesn't work, guys, I'm sorry.
Well, I didn't have to sign up, Goatfather, so I'm not sure why you're having that challenge there. I just clicked on the link. So let's try that link again. I just copied the link at the top of the chat there, Goatfather, and it took me straight to the poll. I didn't have to do any sign up or anything.
So, folks, Bobby's gone on. It's worked well for him. I know Goatfather struggled a little bit there. There's the link below. This is for let me show you again for all the folks that came in. This is for, here we go. I need to get used to this. Here we go. This is for, I want to hear you guys' rankings. Where do you think, how do you think the top 10 will finish this season? So literally you can, let me get out of this bit. Here we go. So you can preview. Here we go. You click on it here. Then all you have to do is say, okay, Newcastle winners, Chelsea, Aston Villa. Then next, send in your rankings here. Then you submit it, and then you go. So that's all that you have to do. The link is at the bottom on the banner here, as well as at the top on the comments page. I want to know what you guys think. So let me know. Right. So let's kick things off. Let's do it right now. First
Philip,
of all,
maybe you can post it in the chat again, just in case folks
what the link here?
want
Yeah.
to copy and paste it. Yeah. Because
Okay.
I suspect that Godfather might be missing a character if you try to type out the link. So folks can just copy and paste it from the chat. And presumably this is very compatible with smartphones, right?
I don't know.
Because I'm doing it on a desktop.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know, folks. That's a great question. So let me post the link now. Maybe there's a difference. Yep, it's in the comment section now. So guys, do join in. Let us know what your thoughts are, and I'll keep on coming back to it so you guys know. So, okay, first team we're gonna go on. We're gonna talk about is Liverpool. All right. So, let me share this tab here. Can you see that, Bobby?
I cannot.
Oh no, because I didn't put it on stage. That's why. Here we go. Here we go. Right. So Liverpool obviously won the league, 38 games played, 86 goals scored, 41 conceded, 45 plus goal difference, impeccable. 84 goals scored, right? 84 points for the season itself. Just briefly on their league table and their finish, like how would you describe their season, Bobby?
Well, look, I think we were lucky to run into them when we did. It was right after they won the league and Chelsea was trying to make push for top four. I think those guys were a little bit unprofessional at the end of the season. So I think that 84 point total is not reflective, I think.
Yeah.
The league they wrapped up this league, back in February, right? So it was a really dominant performance. I don't know as much about their capability as it is to about other teams falling off. But it was a dominant performance. League wrapped up early, and I think that points total. We'll need something bigger this year, I think.
I agree, because and we're gonna see whilst I've been preparing this. So many teams are stacked, and just speaking of stacked, this is their business. Just briefly, in terms of sales, this is in euros, so you'd have to forgive me. Maybe Bobby can give a good estimation, but in terms of sales, Liverpool sold 219 million euros worth of players. So I'm assuming that's what 190 pounds. Would you say, Bobby? Would you say that's about 180 pounds? Maybe.
How much you said? 219.
219 million euros.
Yeah, that's about 185 pounds.
Yeah, that's not bad. It wasn't too far off. But obviously they spent 482.9 million euros on new arrivals, which includes obviously Mr. Isak, Mr. Wirtz, Ekatike, Kirkes, Frimpong, Leone, Freddie Woodman, Harvey Davis and Trey Yonioni, who are just, they're the loanees or whatnot. But obviously the top 4 or 5 players are the ones that are there. They've actually spent more on their transfers than our owners spent on buying Newcastle, which is interesting. What's your initial thoughts on their transfer window, Bobby?
Look, dream transfer window. Liverpool fans have not seen this kind of spending. I think there was a bit of a wet rag at the end when we weren't able to close the deal with Crystal Palace at the end for Gahey. So that took a little bit of a shine off. And it might actually be more of a blow given their defensive options, the age of them, and their proclivity to injury as well. So I still feel like the window was a great window, slightly unbalanced. But what we're doing is tweaking an already very good team under a very good manager. So
go on.
I think they're going to be favorites. Yeah.
Oh, so you got them as favorites?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. You're letting the cat out of the bag early there. Uh,
All right, so sorry. So are we
no,
discussing where we
no,
think it
no,
should
no,
be,
no.
or?
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
But well,
No, I'm joking.
actually, let's figure out how we're going to do this. So, should folks be updating the poll as they go? So, like right now, I've got a view on Liverpool. Should I put that up on the poll?
Yes, please. So, folks, this is the
Got it.
poll here that Bobby's talking about. In fact, let me share the screen properly. Here we go. Oh, let me take this off first. This is the poll here. The link is below. Send in your rankings. Let us know what you guys' thoughts are, and then we'll be able to tell you at the end of the show what the folks think here as well. So hopefully we'll be able to provide some of our analysis as well. Obviously, Bobby's got the Liverpool favourites. And by the way, I saw Mr. Preach here. Big up Preach, Liverpool fan as well. And as you said, Bobby, in terms of this is Liverpool squad. You talked about obviously perhaps slightly unbalanced in terms of their spend, but it's already a very, very, very good squad. We've got obviously their front line of Ekatike. This is in a 4-4-2 formation. We know they play 4-3-3 as well, and obviously the shapes change. So, but you've got Ekatike, Gakpo, Isak, obviously supported by a midfield of Wirtz with no real backup. Well, it depends how you play. McAllister and Jones, Gravenberch and Endo, Salah and Chiesa, Kirkes with Robertson, Virgil with Leone, Konate with Gomez, Frimpong with Bradley, and Allison with Mamashashvili. What's your kind of initial thoughts on their squad depth?
So I think an Eddie Howe would love to play against this team as you've got it set up right here. I don't think we'll ever see this on the pitch unless Slot's gone nuts, right? Playing FIFA. But I think this illustrates the challenge that they have of trying to fit these two strikers in. You've got McAllister, who, we're doing this prediction table a little, 3 games into the season, so we've been able to see them a bit, so we're going to be a little bit prejudiced by what we saw. But he's not been in good form, and I don't know if he's going to get there. And what's interesting is that Enzo Fernandez, who shares a midfield with him in Argentina, he's also started off this season pretty slowly. So I think I'm seeing a little bit of weakness in that defensive midfield. I feel like they could have done with another body possibly, and then of course we know they missed out on their target in defense. But otherwise, I don't expect to see Wirtz, Ekatike, and Isak on the pitch together at one time unless Salah's at AFCON or he's dropped. And with his form lately, he could be close to being dropped, quite frankly.
I'm going to ask you for your I know you obviously got them as favourites, but I'll ask you what points are in a moment. Just got a few comments here. Aaron says, there's no way they don't win the league. Their team is disgusting. Concerns about the defense, but the attack can outscore anyone. I wouldn't disagree with that. Martin Bland says they're not a scary looking attack. All well and good, but defense is weak. So it's interesting. We've got obviously those contrasting views there already. Aaron says, I think they'll comfortably win the league. Don't see anyone coming close to them. Bobby, so last season, Liverpool finished 84 points. You did mention that you think you'll take more to win the league this season. If I was to ask you now, and I am asking now, what would be your points total for them?
I would add another 10 points to where they were last year, I think.
94 points. Wow.
You think that's a lot?
No. They've done it before. They've done it before.
Yeah.
They've done it before. This isn't. It would just. I think I'm more kind of saying, wow, it's just going to be a monstrous year. I think for everybody. And I'm not shocked. I'm more like that. I'll probably put what your points are. Probably puts it home for me. Really, I don't disagree with you, and I think depending on how the other teams push them, or if they don't push them, it might not be 94 points, if you know what I mean. So we both know they
Yeah.
only finished 84 points. We're going to talk about the other teams in a moment. I'm just not sure if they're going to push them that far. I'm going to say, though, 88 points for now. Because maybe I'm giving my game away a little bit, but I just don't know. I just don't know if the other teams are going to push them that hard, in my opinion.
So what are you seeing compared to last season? You're seeing more competitiveness for longer into the league, and therefore taking more points off of Liverpool.
I'm seeing it that the teams are stacked, but they're not going to be as competitive. I think Liverpool at some point will run away with it, and because of that, will have almost a similar type of trajectory as they did last season. I don't think anybody's going to push them as far. But that's my initial thought. So yes, so that's my initial thought. So guys, let us know your thoughts. Let us know by going. You can see the link below here. Click on this link. Go on the website and give us your rankings. Let us know what you think. Simply just click on it here. Who do you think is going to finish first? Is it going to be Man United first? City second? Nottingham Forest third? Is that going to be the case? And then just submit it there. And at the end of the show, we'll be able to know who does the audience think is going to finish first? Who's going to finish second? Who's going to finish third? So we've done Liverpool. Let's go on to the next club, who I think might be, yes, it is Arsenal. Now, Arsenal obviously finished second last season with after obviously 38 games. They scored 69 goals to Liverpool's 30. Compared to Liverpool, scored 86, but they conceded 34 goals. The least conceded in the league, with a plus 35 goal difference, and they got themselves 74 points, 10 points behind Liverpool. My initial thoughts, just before you go in, Bobby, is that Arsenal only scored, for instance, one goal more than Newcastle. They're in and you consider there's an emphasis on goals, and for us, we hadn't bought a first team player in three transfer windows, right? So they've had 3 transfer windows ahead of us. They finished 10 points behind Liverpool. I'm already questioning whether they're going to close the gap this season. What about you, Bobby? What's your thoughts on Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, just looking back at the prior year, I want to say that Arsenal had a similarly comfortable position in the league table throughout the year. They were almost casual about it, even probably more unprofessional than Liverpool earlier in the season, because they were so focused on Champions League. So again, just like Liverpool, I'm not seeing that points total as a proxy for this year necessarily, just because of the shape of their league campaign in terms of points earned. Just zeroing in on your comments about their goals scored, you can see defense is the focus, right?
Right.
And I got the feeling coming into last season that Arteta had taken a page out of Jose Mourinho's book, where he has. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, I forgot the Stoke manager's book. I forgot his name now. Not Potter. What's his name? The one they're always comparing him to.
I know what you're talking about. But
who was that? Go
on. I can't remember his name now either. I'm drawing a blank now that you told me you can't remember what you're talking about. But look, I think Arteta, I'm not going to be that derogatory about his tactics.
Yeah.
Because I think there's merit to the philosophy behind it.
Father said Pulis, Tony Pulis, Aaron and
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And that man was a very good manager. I don't know why people treat him as badly as they do. But did he not retire because of the abuse? Actually, I thought he left management because people were taking.
That's a great question. That's a great question. I don't know.
I think he was great, him and Sam Allardyce. But anyway, So look, I think Arteta understands that, and he thinks that there's merit in it. Defenses win leagues, but I think he's taken it too far. And is it a slow build? The fan base has clearly lost patience with him. You can see that he's putting the pieces together every season, adding a new layer, and he seems to be building up from the back and moving forward. But I think he's the problem, because there's no way that he should have put 3 DMs on our pitch on the weekend. Like, he's not going to win the league that way. And if that's the stage of his thinking and tactics, I'm concerned for them and repeating that league position. So they probably, in my judgment, might end up around the same points.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people share the same concerns. Can you see the transfer of Arsenal's transfers?
I can, yeah.
Let me make sure I got on the screen. All right, excellent. So, by the way, oh my goodness gracious, they've sold 10 million euros worth of players.
Wow, that's nothing. Huh?
That is horrible. Jeez, 10 million.
I think we need to be careful though with the selling. I'm thinking about the selling. Chelsea is getting a lot of praise right now, and because of the complexity of non-accountants trying to digest the concept of amortization, these clubs and this talking about this selling actually is a little bit misleading, because I can tell you right now, any player that Blueco bought and has subsequently sold, the aggregate position is negative 16% return on that investment.
Right.
So they borrowed money from people, bought these players, and then sold them at negative 16%. So we need to be very careful. Arsenal probably understands that they don't want to be selling players at negative 16%. They prefer to focus on a stadium and revenue. So I'm not going to be that critical of them. I think they did some prudent spending on the offensive side. I don't understand the Hincapié. I don't understand why they need another defender. I didn't get that. He is a defender, right? Piero Hincapié.
So left back, left back, left centre back.
Got it. So one of these hybrids. Yeah, I mean, like White.
Yeah,
they've got a couple of them already. Right, that's a terrible allocation of resources, but it reflects the mentality of the manager and his approach, and it's going to get him sacked, I think.
Yeah, and just to add to that, it's got obviously they bought Zubimendi, Eze, Gyökeres, Madueke, Mascara, Norgard. I think there's a lot of strength and depth there in terms of what they've bought, and I'll show their squad.
Madueke is now their best player. And I know you wanted him at Newcastle. You see things that others can't see.
So hold on, okay. So I don't know if it'd be. So hold on, let me. Where is it? Where are they?
I hear you, Liam Knowles. If he's replacing Kyrier, but isn't that what the Calafiori can do as well?
Yes, he can.
And then where's Miles Lewis-Skelly? Right, so you don't even have space for Lewis-Skelly on here. Why do we need another person in that corner?
He's behind White, so he's behind White. Hincapié.
Oh, sorry, am I looking at the wrong side?
Oh, am I not sharing it? I mustn't be sharing it. Let me just.
No. I think you've got. I think you probably wanted to have Lewis-Skelly on the left and Timber on the right. Is that what your plan was? Because you've got Lewis-Skelly as a right back.
So I got this. So I didn't put this together. It was already on lineup builder. So
right, okay, got it.
So that's how they've got it. They got Skelly on the right behind, but Skelly mainly plays on the left, right?
I thought he plays on the left, and I thought Calafiori was also a CB. He's more of a CB than he is a left back, isn't he?
Right. He can play both, but yes. Like I think for Bologna, did he play left of a back three?
Okay, maybe looking at this, they do have a gap actually, because if you were to move Lewis-Skelly to the left, Calafiori as the starting left back, then you actually have a gap behind Saliba. So I guess that makes sense.
a lot of strength and depth there as well, I think, even though they get bantered a lot for being defensive. Like you said, Bobby, you can see it there. Timber, Calafiori, Saliba, Hincape, Gabriel, Mosquera, White, Luz Kelly. It's a very, I think there's a lot of strength and depth in the defensive areas. Decent midfield as well. Depends if you add Havertz as a midfielder or left eight, but you've got him there with Erdegaard, Wanyeri, Trossard, Rice,
A bit is
Sibamendi.
coming for Trossard today, apparently. He might be on his way.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Madueke, you said that Madueke was their best player. Obviously, he's played Eze, Martinelli, Jesus. I don't know about Jesus and Eucharist, only because Jesus is hardly ever available, really. And I think for me, the jury's still out on Jesus. As well. So we'll see on him. But that's their strength and depth at the moment. And
Igal is just in time. I've never met Igal. I'm a huge fan.
it's my friend.
Big
Big up, Igal. Good to see you, sir. God bless you. Great to see you, sir. Thank you for the redirect, sir. Really appreciate you, sir. Always just on time as well. We're just discussing the team. Absolutely phenomenal. Big up to all the folks that have come from Igal Talks Football. Always a privilege to be on his incredible channel, guys. Right. So, Bobby, give us your points prediction for Arsenal in this coming season.
Look, I think I'm expecting probably +5 on where they are last year. I think they'll benefit from the depth. This team has now got some rich experience going deep into the Champions League. So I think getting that balance between league and Champions League, they'll probably be less of a bias this year. It was a clear bias last year that's what they were focused on. But yeah, they've got the depth, I think, to fight on both fronts. So maybe +5.
So that'll take them to. Sorry, go on, Bobby. Sorry.
That'll take them to 79. You were about to say?
Yeah. That was going to take to 79. Yeah, that'll take them to 79 points. I'll go a little bit higher, just a little bit, and I've got them on 81 points. I think they will break the 80-point barrier. I think they'll also go further in domestic competitions as well. So, folks, but let us know, folks, what you guys think. You will see also at the bottom here, this is the link to the to where you can send in your rankings for where you think the teams will end up. Let me just show you how it works. If once I get out of it, in fact, let me share the tab. I'm not even sharing it. Where are you? So let me put this down. Let me put this up. Here we go. So send in your votes in terms of where you think the teams will finish. So this is how it works. You got the link, obviously, at the bottom of the description. It's free. Just come on there. You got Arsenal first. You can how you want it. Arsenal first, Tottenham third, Nottingham Forest there. Submit it, and that's how we'll see. We're going to see the rankings then at the end of the show. We're gonna be able to see where are most teams being ranked. What do the folks on Toon Tactics TV think with the majority of the teams will finish? So far we've got Liverpool 9. Well, Bobby's got Liverpool 94 points. I've got them on 88. Arsenal on 79 points for Bobby, and for me, I've got Arsenal on 81 points. And as always, we've got a few folks in the chat. We've got the Egal raid against. Big up to Egal. Liam knows lack of understanding about an UFC squad from Egal. If you mean, okay, you guys are talking about. Let's see some chats. Good to see you, Richie, as well from Red Devil United. Good to see you, Richie. God bless you, sir. All right, so let's get on to. Let me share this. Here we go. All right, so let's get on to back to the league table itself. Am I sharing it? No, I'm not. Brilliant. Okay, so we've done Liverpool, done Arsenal. Manchester City, 38 games played, 72 goals scored, 44 goals conceded. So I think their defense is about fourth best in the league, third best in the league, fourth best in the league. 20 goal difference. I mean, for their standards, it's probably a -C grade, -C performance for the season in total. I don't know if it's the right way to put it. What do you think's been their undoing in the season just gone, Bobby? Why have they gone below 80 points
As you
in
were
the season?
building the introduction there, I was thinking, has anybody really been able to diagnose the issues here? I think, again, we're doing this is the problem with the transfer window closing into the season. So when you try to do something like this, you're obviously biased by what you're seeing, and it's obvious that they have not solved for a number of the issues that they had last year.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing about Rodri being out, Ballon d'Or winner, etc., was a bit of an excuse. I think the problems were clearly more fundamental than one player, and
Hmm.
that's being reflected in what we're seeing right now, right? Because he played almost, I think he played the entire match on the weekend. So look, I've never been a fan of Pep Ball. My hatred for that brand of football goes back to when we were knocked out of the Champions League by them, by
Right.
Barcelona, probably 15 years ago.
Ah,
So
that
that
makes
tiki,
sense. That makes sense.
I'm repulsed by tiki taka football. Okay, and I loved going to Camp Nou and brutalizing them with our direct brand of football.
Right.
Um,
That makes
uh,
sense.
so it's not my thing. But I think, look, there is an element of the fact that I think Pep is legitimately lost. I think he's never really been tested, or the few times he has been tested, by having teams that are not the best in the league, he's shown weakness. When he was at Bayern, he was pathetic in the Champions League, and he
Yeah.
actually generally struggles in the Champions League, right? So he's quite one dimensional in that way. Needs to have the best players, and they need to suit a particular situation. As soon as it's faced with something new, like cup competitions, it could get dicey. But look, I still have them doing much better than they did. Let's jump to their signings. These are excellent signings,
Let me
and
get on
it's
to it.
it's
Yeah, sorry,
we
go on.
probably we're probably only going to look at them for the summer, but really and truly, their rebuild started in January,
Yeah.
right?
This should include it.
It does.
Here
It
we go.
includes Marmouche and those guys.
I said to get
It
it
does
all of it,
not.
but no, just for the summer. Yeah, just for the summer. Let me see if I can. No, I can't. Uh, so
I mean,
hasn't
I
got
think
my.
the most significant Ushanov
Oh,
is that
here
how
it
you
is. Here
pronounce
it is.
that?
Here it is. Here it is. Yeah. So,
Okay, you
like
got
you
both of
said,
them.
yeah.
Okay,
Here we
got it.
go.
Right. So
So that's from
really and truly,
January.
this rebuild started in January, right?
Yeah.
So Gonzalez, who I've not really gotten a sense of, but Kusanov and Marmouche to me were two significant additions to the team in January, and that started the rebuild. The
Yeah.
difficulty that we're seeing right now is that Marmouche is struggling from the same challenge that what's that guy that went to Atletico Madrid?
Julian Alvarez.
Correct. I think we're seeing a similar thing here where you've got this second striker in the team who's very good, but you don't know exactly, what his role is.
Right.
And then you're getting a lack of productivity out of Haaland, more so because of the lack of service from the wings, right?
Yeah.
So just going back up a little bit, I think the success this season is going to be dependent on Shirky and his ability to generate the chance creation that they got from what was their captain's name again?
Rodri.
No, captain gone to Napoli. Oh my
Oh, De
god,
Bruyne. De Bruyne. De
De
Bruyne.
Bruyne.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that productivity that was missing from De Bruyne, I think Shirky is going to need to produce that. Uh, uh, so will we have that? I don't know, but I think that's going to be the challenge. I think Foden, for example, he's a problem, right? Like nobody understands what's going on with him. So it's got to be
Well,
Turkey.
and looking at their team now, so you got Cherky as the person who's going to have to spark the revival essentially for City.
I
I
think
look at this.
Rangers to some
Sorry, go on.
extent. Sorry, when I say revival, I mean we're just replacing. De Bruyne's output. But I interrupted you. You go ahead.
No, that's okay. No, yes, to replace De Bruyne's output, I'm not convinced he's going to be able to do that. Not just because of himself. My main thing and my overall thing for City is that they've lost, to me anyway, their ability to press and to counter press. Gone are the days where they were just as good off the ball as they were on the ball. And teams, you just saw Brighton the other day, have just chosen to run at their midfielders. Rodri's going to take time to get back to where he was. Ryan is never known as, he's not known like your Casados, your Joe Lintons, your others, as in terms of off the ball. His magic feet, like Cherky, is on the ball. And Cherky himself isn't known for, his recovery tackles, right? And things of that nature. Bernardo's aging. Foden, we don't know where he's at. And so it's left to the aging defense to step up, and they're getting caught short. They haven't solved that problem for me. So even though they've got some depth, they're all in fact say some depth. That's not accurate. They've got good depth compared to obviously most people. I'm not convinced by their first team, and I think they've lost one of their key strengths, which is their counter press. They finished with 71 points last season. I don't think they're going to improve on it. I'm going to go out on the limb. I said go out on the limb. No, I'm going to be... I think they're going to go backwards. I think they'll finish on 68 points this season.
That's interesting. I mean, what you've described here is pretty fundamental. Another thing that I meant to touch on was the absence of Kyle Walker and that pace that he had.
Yes.
He used to build them out so much.
Yeah, they've got Kushner for that, but he's young, and I think there's just too much to do for him.
I don't think they trust him as much, and he goes to ground too easily, right? It's him running back at people is scary stuff.
Exactly. So what's your prediction, Bobby, on that?
I think it's going to be Foden dependent. If he can get his head together, he can bring back some of that pressing and work right up at the front that you're thinking about, I believe. But that's offset by the keeper, man. I think Pep's... I'm tactically confused about what I'm seeing. You have a goalkeeper that's not known for playing out at the back. You've got a striker who is not...
Has he come off there? Bobby, you're on mute. In case you wanted to, in case you were talking there, you're on mute, Bobby. So I've got Man City on 68 points. When Bobby gets back, I'm gonna ask him for his score predictions. But guys, you guys can see the link below there. Actually, you can't see the link. When I get the link. Here we go. There's a link there. This leads you guys to the webs I want to hear your score predictions. And we've got this website here on Centimeter. What's it called? Mentimeter. I was going to call it Centimeter, where you guys get to... In fact, let me take this off. Where is it? Let me share this. You guys get to give us your rankings for the teams here. Let us know where you think they're going to finish. So far, we've had 11 people share their rankings so far. And as a result, at the moment, we've got Liverpool first, Arsenal second, Man City third, Newcastle fourth, Chelsea fifth, Tottenham sixth so far, Aston Villa seventh so far, Brighton eighth, Nottingham Forest ninth, Manchester United 10th. Guys, you've been absolutely fantastic. Please do keep on sending in your filling the poll. We want to be able to see how many did we get. Where does Toon Tactics TV think the teams will finish? You can see the link below there. I'll also see if I can put it into the chat. He's also I'm going to send it in the chat as well for you guys. just click on and send in your views. So when Bobby gets back, Bobby, you
I
here?
hope I'm here now. Am I back
Yeah.
now?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry,
sir. All
my
good.
system just went crazy.
Oh, I know what that
I'm a
feels
good
like.
owner.
So I know what that feels like. So no problems. Give us your what's your score? What's your point predictions for City this? Remember they finished on 71 points.
Let's stay flat. Like I think they'll get themselves. You've got to like it's a good team. You got to trust Pep. I think he's going to at least do what he did last year.
So you've got them on 71, yeah?
Yeah, flat.
Same point. Okay, flat. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's Man City. All right, so next team. Share this. That's the. Have I got you guys there? Yes, we've got the league table. So Chelsea, your beloved Chelsea, Bobby. We've got them on obviously fourth place finish, 64 goals scored, 43 conceded. That leaves you with a plus 21 goal difference, exactly the same as Newcastle, which is interesting, with 69 points from the league. Can I ask you, Bobby, before the season started, last season started, excuse me, what was your expectations for Chelsea? And yeah.
I had us in 8th position.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I did. And look, people underestimate what's the point difference between those teams at the end of the day, right? So you got
Yeah,
Chelsea on 69, a 4-point difference, right? So
yeah.
we could easily, if Forest did the job and Liverpool wasn't drunk, we could easily have been in 7th,
Right.
right? So Forest was just not a good team. So we were in a head-to-head battle with them, and Liverpool wrapped it up early. So look, we were lucky in many ways, but I also have to give Maresca credit. The reason why I had us at 8th is because I felt as though he could not organize a defense, and I've been proven wrong. So I'll give him credit. I do not like him as a coach. He's Diet Pep. He's coming from that school. He's stubborn. We've discussed this over and over on this channel. You've heard my thoughts, so I'm not going to go
no, but
too
maybe
crazy.
the audience don't know, but so it's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I historically, I've not been satisfied that he was hired for the right reasons. I believe he's there because he is happy to sit down on the flip for profit model, and many
Right.
managers would not tolerate buying Garnacho, for example, particularly when you're under sanctions and your cash flow is being managed by UEFA. So he allows non-sporting priorities, and that's my objection to him. But tactically, he was coming from the Championship, which was, again, as a Chelsea fan, not in keeping with what we do. You have to be proven, and he was not. But he's organized a pretty good defense. But what people need to realize is that we could easily have finished in 7th. We equally were only winning those games. So you see he's on a big winning streak generally. His form has been pretty good. But the margin of those victories have been pretty tight. So from my perspective, I feel it's only a matter of time before we get found out. I think the team is better than the capability of the manager. But he's not going to be sacked because he's a corporate man. And I have us pretty much flat with last year.
Oh, the way I have to scroll down on your departures here is insane. I'm not. I'll leave it as this. Your sales were 332 million. I know that you've spoken before about how did you say it's minus 16% in profit?
Return,
is that what you're saying?
Look, just on a common sense level, right? If you're running a trading portfolio of stocks, you never want to buy high and sell low.
Yes.
but if you go through all of these transactions without the generosity of Arteta with Madueke, we generally have been selling for way less than we've been buying.
Right.
Right. This is not a sustainable model. So as much as people try to window dress this and put lipstick on this pig and say that Chelsea are great sellers, these players are being sold at a loss. Okay, and it's because they're managing cash flow. They're not managing to profitability yet. So look, a lot of those were dogs in the portfolio that they put to slate. On the buying side, again, misplaced priorities. Garnacho is a horrific acquisition as far as I'm concerned. And then we've got Giddens on that side as well. So the entire left side, with the exception of Cucurella, has zero experience and is technically quite weak.
So speaking of, why?
I mean, look at that. So Colwell is injured for the season, so he needs to come off, right?
So go on. Yeah.
Colwell is injured for the season. Yeah, I can see it. So if you look at that left side, who do we have there of substance? The entire left half of that page, right? It's a joke for a Champions League campaign and league campaign. I'm being generous and keeping it flat.
So you're looking at Cucurella, Hatt obviously is young, Garnacho and Gittins. I see where you're coming from.
Where's exactly? What do we have on that left side? Right, Tosin. This is not a team fit to challenge in the Champions League and for top four. It's very weak on the left side. So what I expect now is that Neto is going to come over.
Right. Which would be kind of counterproductive if you spend that much money on Gittins and Garnacho, right? Is that kind of how you're seeing it? Like,
I mean, that's £95 million of players in that position in the top left.
Right.
So that's a disgrace.
Right. So you're kind of feeling like you're going to get found out any moment type of thing.
Matter of time. Otherwise, I don't understand football.
So
which is possible.
Trust me.
I've got to stay humble.
I've got to stay humble. That's so hard to do. So you finished on 69 points last season. Did you say flat? Did you say you finished in flat again?
I thought 69 was generous because I was, the 3 points from Liverpool, and I think there was a sneaky victory against Fulham, which shouldn't have happened. But yeah, I think probably around the same. Look, the other thing to consider, right, is the fixtures. So we got a fairly easy start to the season, probably the easiest in the league. But the problem is that when we get out of the group stage qualification in the February-March period, we've got a fairly sticky run of fixtures against high-quality top 10 teams. So that's where it could all fall to pieces, really.
I didn't quite see it until I spoke to you, Bobby, when I'm looking at the left side.
It's a wasteland.
So you got it at 69 points. Okay. I understand what you're saying, Bobby. I understand what you're saying. I'm gonna give Chelsea 64. I don't think it's gonna be. I've got 5 points drop off for Chelsea this season. Guys, let us know what your thoughts are. The chats are ringing off, but remember, we have also got this link here where we've got a rankings table. Click on the link and let us know what your rankings look like. This is what the link looks like. Let me take this. How do I take this off? Here we go. Take this off. That's the transfer window. This is the league table here. Here we go. So when you click on the link, you go here. You get to then put in who your rankings are. Brighton finishing top, Newcastle United second, Villa third, Chelsea fourth. And then you get to submit it here. And then at the end of the show, we'll be able to know what does the chat think? Where do you guys think the teams will finish? We've gone up another 3. We've got 14 people already have participated so far. The chat.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's a lot more than I expected. Good job, chat.
It's absolutely smashing it. Like we were so worried, especially putting this together. Like, but you guys have been absolutely phenomenal in your responses so far. I've got Liverpool first, Arsenal second, Man City third, Newcastle fourth, Chelsea fifth, Tottenham sixth, Aston Villa seventh, Brighton eighth, Forest ninth, Manchester United 10th. So guys, if you don't want to see your team ranked any lower, make sure you send in your make sure you send in your what your views are. Rank the table. Let us know where you think your team's going to finish, and I'll show you. So I'll show the results at the end, and I'll show you where me and Bobby have got the teams ranked at the end as well as we're doing it. And you guys will notice that we're doing it by points because I wanted to try something different. I usually use points when I predict the table, and I want to see how it ends up looking at the end. So let us know what you think. All right, so make sure you guys can see that we've done for the folks that are maybe just coming in. We've done Liverpool, we've done Arsenal, we've done Chelsea, and we've done Man City. I forgot. Did I ask you, Bobby? What was your score for Man? What was your points for Man City? I think you
I think
said
I said +5, did I? Sort of flat. What did I say?
they finished on 71 points. Did you say flat for them? I think you
Yes.
said flat.
Yeah.
I think you said flat. All right. So we've done Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City so far. We've already got 14 people that responded in the for the rankings table. Keep it coming, folks. All right. So next up, my beloved team, Newcastle United, finished fifth by hairbreadth, really, with 68 goals scored, 47 conceded, with a plus 21 goal difference, the same as Chelsea's, 66 points. Now, this is on the back of the fact that we had 3 transfer windows of not buying a first team player. And I think to be able to finish 4 points. No, excuse me. How many points did we finish on? 6 points higher. If you compare it to the season before that, after not being able to spend money, has been absolutely phenomenal. But we wouldn't have been able to fulfill that had we not spent money in. We would not be able to repeat that if we were into this season. So it was important for us to spend money. I partly think our finish obviously is down to the team, but it's and individual players, your Isaks, your Bruno Gomes. But I think it also comes down to Eddie Howe's management as well. What was your take on?
But on that point,
Yeah,
on that point though, Philip, before you ask your question,
yeah.
what's your assessment of? There's a constant criticism, I guess, because of that 1 year where you were in the Champions League and you
Yes,
didn't manage the domestic campaign as well as you maybe could have.
yeah.
What's your assessment of the team, of Eddie Howe's ability, not the team, but Eddie Howe's ability to manage multiple campaigns? You think there's improvement? Firstly, do you think it was ever an issue? And B, what's your outlook on the future for it?
That's a great question. So I think I know I know why it happened, and I'm looking back in hindsight. So we finished fourth and got into Europe when I guess we didn't expect to, and we were still fulfilling the plan that we had before that season. So we weren't as decisive in our selling and our buying. We were still continuing with the long term plan, which, if you can say, backfired in the following season because we had all these injuries and obviously we dropped off a little bit. A part of me says, okay, we should have just accepted where we were and been a little bit more decisive in our buying and selling, and we were able to rotate the team. But at the same time, we have a longer term plan, and it's now being fulfilled in this season now, where I think we're going to have a more sustainable growth. So going back to your question, Bobby, around can Eddie Howe manage multiple competitions? I think yes. I think especially last year proved that. Obviously, we went to the final, our second cup final again, and we won it. We finished fifth. I think we finished in the quarterfinals for the FA Cup, for instance. So yes, and the short answer is yes. I think he can handle multiple competitions, and now that we've got more players in, speaking of more players, I expect that we'll be able to handle it. I expect for him to be able to manage it again this season. So yeah. And speaking of players, obviously, am I sharing my screen? Yes, I am.
I see that Iniesta Wijnaldum has a view on that.
Oh yeah. Sorry, what
You
did he?
see,
What's his? What's
Eddie
Iniesta
didn't
said?
manage it well last time we played in 4 competitions. He's citing the lack of rotation.
Yes, we did have a lack of rotation. We continued on from where we were, what we did the season prior. I can't remember how many players we brought in and what our injuries were at that time as well. Because I think we also had, that was the season we had about 10 plus injuries throughout the season. So we were still having a headache from the previous season. I think we had, we were playing in Lewis Miley, for instance, against PSG and things of that nature. So I think we even done well to finish with 60 points that season.
Okay. So I
So
think
yeah,
others in the chat think it's really about injuries, and although
yeah,
cause and effect thing. But okay, fair enough. The
yeah.
experience, I'm sure they've learned from it. Yeah.
Yes. So now Eddie Howe's got abundance, right? He's got the financial abundance. He's got 6 extra players, not extra players. He's got roughly. So I did a show on Tuesday. I think you were on it. I said I expect where last season we had a rotation of 15 players. I think this season we'll have a rotation of 19 players based on the transfers, 18 to 19 players based on the transfers that we made. How is Howe going to handle that? I don't think he's been in the situation where he's now got plenty. I think he will handle that, right?
So in terms of making a conclusion about that, plenty. Then, so is it fair to say that you've got at least one player for each position, maybe with the exception of
Great
that creative
question.
midfield?
Great question. So
Wrong.
that heads us into our squad. So let me come out of here, take this off, put this on. Let's find Newcastle United. There's Chelsea. Oh, that's not there. Back, 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 back. So, do we have players for every? That's Nottingham Forest. Hey, where is Newcastle? Don't tell me I forgot my own team. Where
Did you
art
lead your
thou?
own team off?
That'll be sad. No. Oh, you know what I'm doing? I'm clicking forward and backwards by accident. Click, click. That's 8, 7. Oh, here we
Here we
go.
go.
I didn't forget my own team. How could I do that? Brilliant. Right. So, yes. So the short answer is we more or less got players for every position. Let me just take off the. No, I can't take it off. It has to be there. So our forward lines have got for 3 positions. We've got 3 players each. I think with depth and quality. If you're looking at Elanga Murphy, Voltamada Wissa, Gordon Barnes, not too dissimilar for our midfield as well, which is probably one of our strongest parts. Joe Linton, Tonali, Bruno Cross, with Joe Linton, Ramsey, Tonali, Miley, Bruno Willock. And our defense, I think if maybe the left back area behind Hall, we've got a young Alex Murphy who's yet to prove himself, but nonetheless, we've got Chow who can play. He's ambidextrous. He can play in left back as well. So I think good quality there. Byrne is one of the top centre backs in the league in my opinion, with Botman, Chow, Shaw, Livramento, Trippier, which isn't bad at all, and Ramsdale and Pope. So for me personally, probably in my lifetime as a Newcastle fan, it's probably the best squad depth I've seen to this point. I'll have to look back a little bit further, maybe to the entertainers and stuff like that. But this is probably the best squad depth I've seen in recent times, anyway. So
And
I
you're
think we're
starting the season with only probably injury concerns with Joe Linton. Maybe is he
yeah. So
dealing with
he's probably a
nipples?
week away. He's probably a week.
Yeah.
He'll be back after the international break. He should be ready, fit, and good to go.
Look, this is an incredible team. I think our Newcastle fans will, in your chat, would know that I've been pro the sale of Isak because I felt as though what you could get with that money would be incrementally better for the team than having him without the money. Not that Newcastle is by any means broke, but we know the PSR situation.
Right.
But I think that you have redeployed those funds in the short space of time that you had on 2 very good strikers.
Yeah.
And my you see, this is why I've not been a huge fan of the Elanga signing, and hopefully he proves me wrong. But that's why I like Jacob Murphy, right? These guys who are decisive in attacking areas, and you can see from the shot conversion ratios of Walter Maid and Wissa. These guys have shot conversions that are at the level of Isak. And that's why when you were on X telling me that y'all are looking at Jackson, I was like, do you know that his conversion rate is half of Isak's? Okay. So I think you ended up in a very good place. You have not one, but two guys who you know if a ball drops to them, you've got a 1 in 5 chance that they will put it in the back of the net. And that's as good. 1 in 4, I'm sorry. So I think that's pretty good conversion rate you got up front. So goals will win you points. The question is, do you have the defense to win the league? So I don't know if you've got, for example, Theo. I don't know him very well.
Right.
He's not been a regular for Milan, from what I could
Yes.
tell.
Yeah.
Is he a
That's
regular?
true. No. You're right. He wasn't. He hasn't been a regular.
So I'm thinking that Shar is ahead of him.
Yes.
Um,
Currently.
so that's my only concern. Then of course there's the Joe Linton and Ramsey. I don't think Ramsey is that creative particularly.
Yeah.
I think he's probably a good driver with the ball, but you want somebody who could do the intricate passes, who can pick a pass there and find your strikers, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think you've got that in that. I think your weak spots would be first, I think, depth in the. Well, I think you're pretty good with the defense. As long as you don't have any injuries, I think you're pretty good there. Although Theo is an unknown quantity, but I think the biggest issue might be around that Joel Linton, Ramsey. Are you going to find yourself with challenges trying to unlock teams, particularly if you had a tough night in the Champions League the Wednesday night before?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where we're going to find about Hal's ability to rotate and everything else like it. So what's your points? We finished on 66 points. I wasn't too far from my previous expectations. So I had Newcastle between 64 and 68 points at the start of the season, and we finished on 66. So I was pretty happy in terms of my own estimations for Newcastle. What we finished on 66 points, Bobby. What's your take on where do you think? How many points do you think Newcastle will finish on this season?
Like I feel like Eddie Howe feels as though he's got some unfinished business in the Champions League. I think he might see this as the major opportunity for big silverware. So I suspect he might have a slight bias towards the Champions League, and I therefore expect that you're going to go far in that competition. So the question becomes, what does that mean for your league points? I probably expect a similar thing to last year, where again he was somewhat focused on winning that first trophy, the Carabao Cup. Of course, you had the late drama in the season where there might have been unrest in the camp, so you kind of tailed off at the end. But I think I'm expecting, like, I'm going to be boring here, but I expect you probably to be about the same position, maybe 5. Actually, you know what? I'll give you 5 additional points because you've got 2 strikers. People underestimate the ability of a guy to just come in and change a game with 2 kicks of the ball, right? So I
Yes.
think because you've got that firepower there, could be interesting. I'll give you 5 more points with a deep run in the Champions League, I think.
Do you know what, Bobby? You've actually given, so that'll make it 71 points, right? And you've actually, I wrote already in advance my points, and I wrote 71 points as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, like, we're in total agreement there, guys. And I appreciate folks already saying Janiesta Wijnaldum 63 points, David Bartas 67 points,
Why
Martin
is
Bland.
67 points so popular, guys? Explain. Like, that's pretty low. We're being more optimistic than you. Like, Gopal on 67, David Bart on 67,
Yeah, Martin.
Ginesta 63.
So Ginesta 63, Martin Bland. But I hope you guys are clicking the link and putting your opinion, ranking the table here on the site that we was talking to you guys earlier about, because we want to be able to see the results. Last time I had 14 people. I haven't checked it since, so I'm going to check it right now. Let me take this off and see where we're at. So make sure, I hope you guys are sending in your rankings on this website. For those of you that aren't aware, let me make sure you guys can see that first. Yes, you can. Click the link below. It leads you into here, where you can put your rankings on the table here. You can put Man United first, Brighton second, Forest third, Liverpool fourth, for instance. Rank the 10 teams here, submit it, and then we'll get the results here right now. So let's see what we've got so far. Great to have you guys putting it in the chat, but also make sure you go onto the link. We've got 16 folks already who have given us their results. What have we got so far? Liverpool maintaining their number one position. Arsenal second. Oh, here we go. So, wow. Here we go. So, almost 11 out of 16 people believe Liverpool will finish second there. Will finish first, excuse me. Arsenal second. We've got varied results for Arsenal, but between first and second, 4 and 7 here, you can see it. So that's quite a split for Arsenal. Newcastle currently fourth. We've got Newcastle currently fourth. So from 16 people, 6 people believe Newcastle will finish fourth. 4 people believe Newcastle will finish fifth. Couple 6 and 7s, but one.
I wonder who's the optimistic person with the first place.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Absolutely love that. So guys, make sure you're sending in your predictions here. Love it that you're putting in the chat. Keep it up, but also make sure you're sending it over here. Right. So we have
I just want to zero in on a comment here from the Goat Father. That rat cost us 75 points. A few points. Goat Father, listen, man, you got 2 strikers. Right? 2. You gave up 1 and got 2, my friend. I think you can be a lot more positive than that.
Right. So we have done Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, and Newcastle. Next up, Aston Villa, who finished 6th with 58 goals and 51 conceded with 7+ points goal difference. And I just want to say, I know that we're on the same points as Villa, and I know that goal difference and goals scored and goals against aren't points in themselves. But this is why I do think that the league table doesn't lie. I do think Newcastle are the 5th and the best team in the country, Chelsea 4th, City 3rd, Arsenal, and so on, because of stats like this. We defended better, we scored more, and obviously I know the points is what matters. I get that, but I do think this is why the league table doesn't lie. But Villa, they finished there with 58, with 6th with 66 points. What's your? I've never. So I don't really. This would be new for me, Bobby. What's your take on Villa overall? Like, what's your view on that?
I like Villa almost as much as I like Newcastle. Actually,
you've gone down in my estimations.
But no, look. I loved their squad building last year.
Yes,
and they really I was a little bit. I mean, sorry, what they did I think the way they started off the season didn't quite like the squad, but the work they did in January was incredible. And they took a big bet and they focused again on the Champions League, and they did well. They came within a whisk, I think, of knocking out PSG. I think
so this is the 24-25. This is what you're talking about,
yeah. Just looking at the table, right? But my problem with Villa is that they are so narrow. And I do not understand Emery's obsession with having this 4-man midfield. Players that are all somewhat similar. They're not bringing any pace to it. And this is one of these frustrating situations where you can see a manager just having a loyalty to certain players. Their captain, okay, I like him a lot, but he's not a right winger. right?
Right.
And then they've not done a lot of business here. They've just brought in Sancho. He's not going to bring pace, but he's going to bring some trickery left.
Harvey
But
Elliott as
apart
well.
from that, Harvey
Harvey
Elliott,
Elliott.
is he more of a 10? I think he
I
kind
think
of
so. I think so. Yeah.
he would have been, for me. I would have Elanga should be at Villa, and Elliott should be at Newcastle. No, the two teams would benefit a lot more if you had that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Although you still need some depth on the right wing, so it's
Yeah.
not terrible that you have it. But I feel like Elliott might have been a better player for you, and I see him being wasted at Villa because there are other players that have his characteristics, right? So I don't understand why they're doubling down on these midfielders. They do not. Is there a right winger on that team? A natural right winger on that team? You see, they've sold Leon Bailey.
That's
I
a
don't
great
think they have
question.
one.
Let me see if we can get it up and get it here.
Yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting that we've got this page that we can look at.
That's you. Where is it? Villa, Brighton, Forest. Oh, mate, I may have missed Villa.
Did you?
Do they have a right winger? That's a great question. Forest. I might have missed them. Maybe that is a team. At least I didn't miss my own team. That's good. I'm not sure.
Okay. Look, I think
In
they're
fact,
missing
while you talk, let me just see if I can find it on Lineup Builder. So go on, Bobby.
or if you go to FootMob maybe and see who they played the last weekend. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I think they're narrow. I think I'm not seeing Emery addressing what I think are fundamental structural issues in the team, and I worry about them. But having said that, the UEFA Cup is an easy competition for him and for them. But it still means Thursday night. So look, I'm not optimistic about them. I think they're probably going to drop 10 points.
Speaking of narrow, so let me share this with you. Can you see it?
Not yet. I'm still seeing our two boxes.
Oh, okay, so let me bring this up. Like a Christmas tree. Literally is a Christmas tree.
What is this exactly, right?
It literally is a Christmas tree.
And when you're relying on width from Cash and Ding it, like, is this 2019? Like, right? That's the problem.
Yeah,
no, Manson provides good width on the left.
For a fullback area. And there's already whispers started now of Liverpool being interested in Rodgers. But yeah, that's a little while away. But Sancho isn't going to give them width.
And he's not giving Malin enough game time to build his confidence. So he's wedded to Watkins, and he's wedded to where's the captain?
Is it McGinn?
Is it McGinn right under Tielemans? Okay, yeah. So McGinn is a starter, and Watkins, they get way too many minutes, and I think that's a problem.
I don't disagree. And the fact that we just saw their business earlier, it's been a difficult time for them. Bobby, they finished on 66 points.
Mm-hmm.
For me,
they'll be lucky to get past 60.
Yeah, I think this is what's the word I'm thinking of? Is damage limitation going too far? I think they're going to drop back. I've got them on 58 points. What's your?
So I'm minus. What did I say? Minus 10.
Minus 10. So 56 points.
Yeah, I think I'm somewhere around there.
56 points for Villa. 56 points for Villa. And for those, I think someone just came in. I think Wobojog just came in. Where have we got Arsenal? Wobojog. We've got Arsenal. Bobby's got Arsenal on points for 79 points. I've got Arsenal for points of 81 points. But the chat have. Let's go back to for those that can't see that aren't aware. we're doing a rankings table. If you click this link here, you'll be able to give us your rankings. Where do you think the teams will finish in the league? So when you click the link, you go here. You are able to then say from 1 to 10. We're including the top 6 teams plus Tottenham and no, the top 8 teams. The teams that finished top 8. So we're going to speak about Brighton, obviously, and Villa. We just spoke about them, but obviously the top 6. So we're going to include Man United and Tottenham in it. So then you get to rank. Okay, Villa 1, Chelsea 2, Man United 3, Man City 4, and then you go to the bottom there. You give your submission, and then you get to see where your teams have been ranked. And so let's see so far what we've got. Last time we had 16 people. We've still got 16 people. So folks, guys, I know we've got a few people that have come in. Send in your rankings so far with the chat. With 16 people, we have Liverpool first, Arsenal second, Manchester City third, Newcastle fourth, Chelsea fifth, Tottenham sixth, Villa seventh, Brighton eighth, Forest ninth, and Manchester United 10th. And if you're a Man United fans, I had a few of them come in. Don't have that. You know, if you're gonna, they're gonna stay at 10th if you guys don't come and vote. So, guys, send in your votes. Let us know where you think what the rankings are, as we are giving our thoughts as well. Right. So we have done Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Newcastle United, and Villa. Nottingham Forest. I think it's no disrespect to say they were the surprise package of last season. They finished obviously 7th. We're unlucky to not finish in the Champions League table, Champions League qualifications. Excuse me. They scored 58 goals, 46 conceded, with a plus 12 goal difference and 65 points. Really, I say radical. They had a transformative transfer window in that season. I'm going to go to the transfer window in a moment. I'm going to just guess. I can't remember. It was 18 players they brought in and 18 sold. We're going to find out in a moment. And more teams actually taking that approach. Even now, if you see the likes of not Southampton, what's their name? Sunderland, and other teams have been really kind of, the word isn't radical, like really kind of decisive in the transfer market. And it paid dividends for Forest. What's your take on Forest season, Bobby?
I wasn't sure what their transfer activity was like a year ago. I really gave credit to Nuno for the performance of the team. The problem is that Nuno is revealing himself, I think, or at least he's getting a reputation of being quite a one-dimensional coach, where if he's asked to win a game, he can't do it. He prefers have teams come at them. But then when he's handed the ball, as West Ham made a mockery of them on the weekend just by giving them the ball, right? So the fact that you can't coach yourself out of that, I think, is problematic. But also, I think the entire season was credit to him. So the question is he a double-edged sword? Is he even going to be there? And that drama that goes on with that owner surely must filter into the dressing room. I don't know if it's a good thing. I was never impressed with Edu at Arsenal. So there are a number of things that are happening at that manager, owner, sporting director level. I think that needs to settle down. In terms of the squad building, again, they have this, as you just mentioned, this kind of knack for going in and doing these comprehensive root branch kind of rebuilds. So they spend a lot of money at one go, get themselves in PSR and FFP problems, and then work their way out. So I think they're on this spending cycle right now, which would be appropriate because that owner wants to get the team into the Champions League. So I think they're seeing themselves up against Villa, and I would bank on them to edge it, although I don't know that they're that great of a cup team because of their inability to make things happen on the pitch, right? But in terms of the signings, look, great window. They bought a lot. I don't know if they're just an indiscriminate buyer. I don't know many of the players. They were willing to get rid of some of their better players to yourselves and to Spurs. But I think if Nuno stays, and he's able to repair his relationship with the owner, I feel like they could probably do 5 points more this year, just because of the quality they've added. This is the best squad they've probably had in 30 years.
And just on what you were saying about their transfer, this is 24-25 season, Bobby. So the departures looks about 20 players, 86 million that they earned, and then they spent 100 million on about slightly less than 20 players. Fine. This season, again, 124 million in departures, including Anthony Elanga, Danilo, and others. I can't even count. That's about 10 to 15 players. Then they've brought in about 10 players. And you're right about the indiscriminate buyer stuff. Maybe it is, I don't know, but 236 million spent. Amari Hutchinson, I don't know. Arnold Colin-Wendo, you hear good things about him. We'll see. James McAtee, obviously comes from Man City Academy. He's got high expectations. I'm not convinced. I think he's a bit lightweight. And the others we don't know about. Obviously, Douglas Luiz. I always worried about players that have come from really high to a slightly lower level team. Obviously, Juventus and Forest. Zinchenko included as well. But then it comes down to Nunes. Like you said, is he a double-edged sword? And so it's difficult to say if you're just looking at Forest from that point of view. And as I'm speaking about their team, I actually do have their team on my thing. So this Brighton's team, here we go. So, here we go. There's always going to be plenty of depth. They pretty much got a player for every position. Is it quality and depth is the question, right? And we don't know because we don't know. Savona was linked to Newcastle, so I had to do some research on him. He's not outstanding. He's young. I do obviously like their first team, Murillo, Milenkovic, Aina, Anderson, obviously, Hudson, Gibbs White. I don't know who Ndoye is. He might be incredible. Backwards comes with a good reputation from Strasbourg. If it's the backward from Strasbourg, he comes.
Are you able to unhighlight that comment so that we can see who the striker is on the wood?
Oh, yes.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Oh,
the banner's come back in. Who is it?
Yeah, that's okay. But it's that Jesus guy. Okay, yeah. No, that's fine.
Yeah, from thingy. So he played in Saudi for a period of time. Then he went to Botafogo. Yeah.
Look, I think Douglas Luiz. I don't worry. I hear your comment about Juventus to Nottingham Forest, but don't forget that not too long ago he was actually at Villa, so he's got a bit of a repair job to do on his reputation, and I think he functions well in that kind of mid-table team. So I think that's a pretty good addition. And the feedback I've heard a few podcasts where there were Juventus fans on there, and the feeling was not necessarily that he was a poor performer. It was more about circumstance. So, and that's hearing it directly from them. Your point on McAtee being lightweight, I always am concerned about Pep's rejects. I don't know, apart from like Cole Palmer was the only one but he was not a reject. He asked to leave. But apart from that, I don't think they do well when they go elsewhere. So that McAtee, I think, though, he could be very useful in their European campaign. I think he's going to do well in that competition, and Gibbs White is going to have to step up, and they're going to rely heavily on him for the league. Sangara is a good player. I don't know about Yates. I think he's potentially weak. Zinchenko is a horrendous acquisition. Obviously, Edu, doing his old mates a favor or redeeming himself for buying him at
Well, he got a
Arsenal.
loan.
Either way,
It's a loan. It's a loan.
Oh, is it really?
It's a
Okay.
loan. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I mean, he's an experienced player, and in a European campaign, he could be useful. So, look, you need these kind of people. But I'm not impressed. That back corner, though, is a problem. Hudson-Odoi, hit or miss. But I think it's a pretty good team. And so it's a question of balancing. I think the issues are more upstairs and with the manager as opposed to the team. I think it's a pretty good squad for the campaign ahead.
So they finished on 60. Was it 60? They finished on.
What's this Rob thing in the chat? Ian McKenna. Did you all have a connection with Anderson?
Elliot Anderson was his academy player. He's a Geordie boy.
Man, it's a shame you guys had to sell these players. You see that one you got at Brighton. We're going to get onto that shortly. He's
absolutely phenomenal. We did not want to sell him.
I hope you got a buyback clause.
No. We weren't dying in. It's either him or Gordon. Warburg asked Phil, do you prefer depth in defense or attack if you look at Liverpool and Arsenal squads? Great question. Ideally, I want both. Right? But the aim of the game is to win games. And I don't know. Then we had the entertainers and we won games. We didn't win leagues, though. I prefer both. I know it's not the question that you asked, but the third option, the first option, have both. Okay, so Forest. Even though they've finished on 65 points, there's so many spinning plates of this team. You know, it's almost like they took a cocktail last season, shook it up with all these players, and that happened. They've done it again this season. Is it going to bang? Is it going to bang? Or is it going to go? I just can't tell, right?
How do you feel about Nuno as an attacking coach? You think he's got the ability to do it?
I think you've read him very well. How are they with the ball? And if West Ham give you the ball because they trust you to do that, that says a lot about you.
Yeah.
It says a lot about you. And you're going to get worked out. And is he using his team to the full potential? And what's happening with his owner? But at the same time, the players play for him. I do feel I haven't seen them play this season, but I got that since last season. I gave another. Okay, I'm gonna give. They finished on 65 points. I'm not convinced they're going to repeat it. I think they're going to digress by 7 points. I've got them on 58 points, Bobby. What about your?
I think I'm going to put them. Yeah, let's do -5 for me.
So they're on 60 points for. They might digress in the league, but then they're going to win Europe. Like, I think that kind of. I think we can see that kind of season happen, or a domestic trophy, something like that. I kind of see something like that happening for them, in my opinion.
With this new UEFA Cup format, I think we could see that that Spurs United kind of season be repeated for Villa and Forest.
Forest, yeah, absolutely. Aaron Kane says Nuno is a very defensive manager. Don't think he will change his philosophy about clean sheets and solid defense, which will be the downfall of Forest. Right, so. Next up, we have done.
How are we doing on time? We're pretty good, right?
We're pretty good. We're doing pretty well. Pretty well. So we are now down to Brighton, and we've got obviously Tottenham and Man United to go, so we're saving the best till last. So Brighton, 38, obviously 66 goals. So good goals, 59 conceded though, with a 7+ goal difference, 61 points. What's your kind of general take on Brighton? Oh, they are your cousins, aren't they? In terms of Chelsea,
we I can't tell who owns who.
Right.
Because we're now developing their players, which is something that we did not discuss when we looked at Chelsea. Somebody
Yes.
told me I was being harsh about Chelsea, but they sent a player to us to develop for them on loan.
Yes.
Straight dry loan. Like, it's just that lunacy. But anyway, like if we don't have a whole academy of players who are trying to get first team minutes.
Exactly.
But look, Brighton. One thing I can tell you about this club, the decision making at this club is exquisite. And no matter how many scouts other teams like Chelsea pull away, like we've hired at least 3 or 4 of the people at this point in time for upstairs positions. Okay. And others have left as well. I think it's Tony Bloom. How does he pick these managers? Like, who is this joker, this 34-year-old joker that they got? All right. And he's actually doing a decent job.
He is.
Okay. But they just plucked him out of nowhere. And then they go and find these players. You know, they claim it's data. I don't think it's data, man. I think somebody there has just got an ability to make picks. And I think it's Bloom. And he's a gambler and a very successful gambler. And I think his decision making is filtering through this club. Now, in terms of their transfer activity, you want to bring up did they buy anybody? I know they have some outgoings. I can't see it.
Oh, sorry. I thought, okay, here we go. Sorry, here we go. So just to say, they've done really, in terms of sales, 155 million euros they made, and they bought 80 million. So it's a plus in terms of sales. They've got rid of, like, I don't know who sold more, Chelsea or Brighton at this stage, in terms of amount of players. But they've got, again, a lot of players. I don't know who they are, but that says more about me than it says about Brighton.
The difference between them and Chelsea is that when they sell at a profit.
Yes.
They're not indiscriminate sellers. There might be... They're definitely not indiscriminate sellers.
No, not at all. So great business in terms of finances. And
just on that point, a little factoid for the chat. Of all of the transfer activity by clubs for the last 5 years, Brighton is the only one that's net positive transfer spend.
Crazy.
That's incredible.
Crazy. Warbo Jog says, Bobby, you are too harsh on Chelsea. Can't you be happy? Chelsea made record sales, albeit at minus 16% ROI, but look, book value, LOL. So I don't know if it's been sarcastic.
But values pay per profits, my friend. Jog, but I think you know that.
Yeah.
It's not, when you send money through the door, okay, and then sell the player for less, like, that's actual cash gone.
Right. So Brighton, let's see their team. Again, I feel so, because there's so many players I don't know, but I do know their first team. Right? Welbeck, who's having an Indian summer in terms of just his rejuvenated career there. Matoma, I love Matoma as a player. Jorginho, Grudo comes with a higher reputation. I did do a little, so Newcastle were linked to Grudo at one point. Really, really skillful dribbler. I think he might have a breakout season. Minte, I miss Minte so much, but he's at Brighton. He's going to go for 80 million to somebody at some point. Obviously, we know about Sonny March, who's beneath him there. Baliba, he's going to go for 100 million next season. Weaver just beneath him. We have to research on him as well. He's a decent-ish player as well. Ayari comes with a good reputation as well, a young player. De Cupia, I don't know him very well, but we'll see. Van Heck was linked to Newcastle. I like his attitude as a defender. Though I don't know if they've got any. I don't know if at the back it means they don't have anybody else. I doubt that. I think this league table might just not league table. This lineup is incomplete because I'm pretty certain they've got backup for the other defenders. Oh yeah, it'll be Webster. It'll be Webster on that side. It'll be Webster. You got this young player Capolo and got Gadiologo. I like Verberg as a goalkeeper as well. What's your just a quick one, Bobby, in terms of Brighton? What's your view of their team, and what would you what points do you think they'll end up with in this season? What did they get last season again? What did they get? What did they get? What did they get? They got 61 points.
Look, you can't look at this and assume that they're not going to be in a relegation battle. But we know that there's some hidden gems in here.
Yes.
That are going to shine. That back line, we have no idea what replacements they have if they ever have an injury. Believer is a top player, but potentially has had his head turned, and I can see him going in December if he keeps the form that he's currently showing. Don't know this Jorginho cat, and Welbeck is well known. So look, I think let's assume that Bloom is making the right calls again. So I would suggest that they could probably be 5 points better than they were last year.
Are they in Europe this season?
They're not.
Which
is big, right?
And yeah, and I like their manager. I like how they came back against City. I don't think I disagree with you, Bobby. So you said
they had thing last year. They had Europe last year, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yeah.
All right.
So if you give them 5 points, I want to say they did. No. Chat, let us know.
I think it's the year before. It was Robert.
Was it the year before?
Yeah,
it was the year before.
It was deserving.
So it was just a bad season then, really. It was the young people, not a bad season, but like young coach. He still got 61 points in his first season.
Pretty decent,
right? Yeah. At 31 years old. So they got 61 points plus 5. You got them on 66 points this season, right? Okay, so
that's actually a little bit high, isn't it?
Yes.
Let's cut that in half. Yeah, let's go more like 63 probably.
Well, I don't know. 63. It's so difficult with Brighton, isn't it? Like, what does it mean? Who are these other players? What if they got another believer in attack or in their defense, or Casado type? You just don't know. It's a bit of a mix of shake as well for Brighton, but they've still kept a good core. Yeah. I like Ruta.
Minte, Belieber, and Mitomo will create a baseline, I think.
Do you know what? You said 66 might be too high. I'll go for 64 points for Brighton. I think they're going to be competitive.
Yeah, I think my last call was 63, so we close.
Yeah, so folks, we've got 64 points for Brighton. Let us know where you're ranking them, guys. We're doing our Premier League predictions. You might have seen the link here below. That leads you to that's a rankings table. Send in your votes into this rankings table. This is what it looks like. Let me come out of this first. And show you there. You click the link. You go into here. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. You then get to vote for where you think. It's enough. Me and Bobby are giving you where our ideas are, but where do you think these teams will end up? You get to vote. I think Chelsea finished first, Forest will finish second, Villa finished third, Man United finished fourth, and so on down to the 10. We've got 10 teams there. Liverpool, all these, rank them all. Then submit your form. We've got the 10 teams there, and we're going to see at the end of the show what have folks voted for. Where do folks think they're gonna end up? And we'll show you as well ours. And obviously, you can hear us doing it by points. I usually rank the teams by points. I'm interested to see. I think you kind of get a slightly different outlook on that. So that's how you're seeing it this way. So we've got 17 folks so far who have voted, which is incredible, guys. Keep those coming in. I hope you guys are like, sharing, and subscribing. I forgot to say it today. Please do keep the likes and shares going. How can I go down the list? I'm not going down the league. Here we go. So far, we've got 17 people that voted. Liverpool on first, second Arsenal, third City, fourth Newcastle, fifth Chelsea, sixth Tottenham, Villa 7th, Brighton 8th, Forest 9th, Man United 10th. If you're a Man United fan, like I keep on saying, you gotta win something back for your team. Win something back for your team. And at the end, I'll show you guys what the league tables are as well as where me and Bobby have got them. So we've done the first the top 8 teams, but out of respect for the big six, we have to count the teams that didn't finish in the top 6. Man United and Tottenham. Let's start with Man United.
And I don't think we're doing it because they're the big six, but because they spent some good money as well.
They spent some good money as well, and they are going to finish. I think there's a good chance they're going to do better this season. So Man United, after 38 games, scored 44 goals. Wow. Conceded 55, finished on -10 with 42 points.
So yeah, I think we didn't really explain. Did we explain in the chat how we came up to with the teams that we were analyzing? I think we're starting with the prior year top 8 and then adding any missing big 6 teams.
Yes.
And that's why we're now going to look at Spurs and United. Look, a weird year. People have got views on that coach. I am less harsh on him than others. I think the chat would probably say the only people I'm harsh on is Chelsea. but anyway, look, they've done some good business. Everybody's got concerns about their midfield. It's one of the most analyzed teams on social media anyway. Reality is that Bruno Fernandes, just like McGinn for Emery, is a problem for this manager. And I don't understand. He's such an important player for them, but he doesn't have a place in the team. So I think he's throwing off the balance, but that is as long as this manager is wedded to his formation. I actually think that they're carrying that 3 at the back is not the best formation for this team. They're overutilizing the centre backs, and I don't think they're getting any defensive benefit from doing that. And so I think as long as he tries to impose this particular system and formation, that team is going to continue to underperform because it requires them to have a fairly immobile midfield, given the nature of the players that they have. Right, so he wants Mason Mount on the pitch. If you want Mason Mount, I get why you would want Mason Mount on the pitch. People do not understand Mount as a player, but managers do. Mount balances a team, and we've won some very good trophies with it. Right, so I understand Mount well, and I think he's unfairly criticized.
What is it about Mount? What is it in particular about Mount? What do you think the managers understand about him?
Your mic is going a little bit there. Look, I think team managers are realizing. Can you hear me? There's a little bit crackling in your mic. I don't know if it's the same as mine.
Can you hear me now?
Speak again. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, just asking. So, what do you think is that the managers see about Mount? What do they see in Mount?
Something that Eddie Howe would appreciate as well, which is legs, pressing up front, right? If you don't have the defense starting up front, somebody who's mobile, who can press the opposing team, Mount gives you that. And he's not as technically poor as people say he is, right? He actually has a really good first touch, and he has a really good turn, and he has a deadly shot. He has gotten good GNA. So you can see managers want to get that defense from the front by having him on the pitch. He brings that energy to a team. He's probably a better version of Conor Gallagher, and he's just been suffering with injuries. So I can see why he needs to be in the team, but he cannot be part of a defensive pivot, right? He can't sit in front of the defenders. Not with if you just go switch to their squad.
Yeah, let me get that
because I think people know what. So yeah, so like if you
when I find it, that's not their team. Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, this is it. Yep. Yeah. So you see that. So Ugarte is a terrible transfer. Bruno Fernandes. So you've got way too many attacking players on this pitch right here, right? And so ideally, you want a better version of an Ugarte and a Mount, possibly. You see, Mount can't play that deep. Mount needs to be in that Cunha kind of position. That's where was most effective for Chelsea. So that's a challenge. I think the selection of that striker was a terrible idea, right? Just doubling down on youth and projects and all this crap. That's not worked out for them recently.
Sheshko.
Yeah, yes, they should have gotten a more established striker, right? Instead of buying more of these kids. They've failed there for the last 10 years. Mino doesn't fit the profile as well. So look, there's too many players in my mind that need to be on the pitch. A Mino, a Mount. If you had them as your eights and a proper defensive midfielder, that'll be a much better team. So I think the team is still somewhat imbalanced, and that stubbornness of the manager and his inability to deal with that is a big handicap as well. But I think they'll do better. They'll probably do +10 since they don't have any Europe or anything.
+10 would take what did they finish on, 42 or 44 points? They finished on 42, so you got them on 52 points, Bobby.
Oh, 52? Okay.
Is it 50?
Correct, yeah.
Did you say +10 or 12?
Yeah, +10.
+10, yeah. So that'll make that, that'll be 52 points.
But this team is not going to do. How do you feel about this 3 at the back thing for this team?
It's not just the 3 on the back. It's because you can change that in game, right? Like it can be 3 at the back on paper, but it can change on when you actually play the game. But how it changes is not good because they're using the wing backs, right? Ahmad, Dorgu, or whoever's on those sides are there to provide. Are supposed to, like, the wing backs are some of them. They're such how he used them in Sporting Lisbon. They were so like what's the word? You guys got Quenda, for instance, the young 18-year-old. They're so unique where they provide a defensive solidity, so they turn a 3 into a back 5. They also are supposed to provide the numerical advantage in the midfield and forward line areas at the same time as well. I don't think that works in the Premier League where the transitions are so much quicker, so much faster. The midfielders, the overall players themselves are far more athletic, far more stronger, have the better recovery pace, right? Compared to Portugal. They brought in Amorim for his system, and they swung the pendulum from Eric Ten Hag, who by all means didn't. He was a man. He was what's the word? He was like he was one of those. He had all styles without having no styles, right?
Yeah.
He adapted to every game. He was one extreme. So they went from one extreme to the other. One who's so flexible per game, you didn't know what was going to play, to the other one who's so inflexible where you know what he's going to give, and he's not changing for nothing, even though he does make tactical adjustments. I just don't think he has the personnel to be able to play the way he wants to play. And I don't think the system works in the Premier League as it would in Portugal. You're going to say something, Bobby?
Yeah, you see, I wanted to zero in on something you said at the beginning, which was about the 3 at the back not being the problem. And I hear you on the comparative difference between the 2 leagues. But the problem that I have is that you've got then 3 people on the pitch, or at least an extra person on the pitch with a skill set that is not contributing to the team. The reason why I think the 3 at the back is a problem is not because of necessarily the system. I'm not that much of a tactical to understand that. I just know that you're trying to force a Mount and a Bruno in at the front because they have to be on the pitch, and therefore you don't have that additional midfielder that you need to sit with Ugarte, right? Just because a centre back is on the pitch occupying a position, not that it necessarily has to be in that part, but it's just a one of 10 that's now occupied by somebody that's unnecessary. And I think that's the problem because he's got these untouchables, and they're not untouchables because he's stubborn. I think genuinely, Bruno Fernandes, his output is fantastic. Mount again brings that defensive solidity at the front, but can finish, right? So you need them, and then you're losing Mino on his skill set as well. It doesn't fit into this system, and that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the three at the back. It's just the way this guy plays. So yeah, I think it's just a dog's breakfast of tactics and capabilities, but they'll benefit from the fact that they don't have Europe.
I agree. I was thinking about our season when we were.
You're cracking again. I'm not sure what changes that affects your mic.
Check.
Say it again.
Check.
A little bit crackly still.
A little bit crackly. A little bit crackly.
Yeah, that's
guys
bad.
Hear me?
That's perfect.
So I was thinking, so similar to that Man United, we fought relegation, right? When Eddie Howe took over, and we went from second bottom to finishing with 44 points, different to Man United. And we took that form into the second season when we had a 25-point swing. We went from 44 points to 71 points. I don't think Man United are going to do that because I think Eddie Howe's a better manager than Amorim. We bought better players and we have a midfield. I don't disagree with you. I think you've got them on, did you say you got them on 52 points? I don't think I'm that far off from you, and I've got them on 56. I think they'll have a 14-point swing rather than the 25-point swing that Newcastle had, for instance. So, yeah, I think we both acknowledge there'll be an improvement, isn't it? We both acknowledge there'll be an improvement, but not that good of improvement, in our opinions, really. Don't want to know if
you were just cracking a little bit again there at the end.
Yeah, no, I was just saying. Yeah.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, saying I don't think the recruitment is going to be is okay, but sorry, I think they're going to have an improvement, just not that good of an improvement, in my opinion. Okay,
but 14 points more is a lot, though. That's being. Well, they were really poor last year.
Yeah. This is the other one, and I like to give people 2 years. And is Amorim going to last the season?
Yeah.
Right. And if he doesn't, and he goes away before December, for instance, and Man United are able to get a midfielder and a believer and a manager who's able to play a slightly different system that works for the players, can they get a revival going on? Maybe I'm kind of factoring that in, but that's a lot of variables in what I'm saying there. So maybe that's some
structural changes.
I'm sorry?
There's some big structural changes there.
Yeah. And I'm prepared to be wrong on that. If they have the same season as they had last season, or only plus 8 points, where they finish on 50 points,
he'll be sacked. Yeah, he'll be sacked.
Yeah. Well, he has to be sacked before the season even ends, right? He has to be.
Before the halfway point, done by Christmas. I see that Iniesta is saying we got 50 watching and 50 likes.
Really? Wow, guys, the conversion rate, Haaland conversion rate out here, 50 watching, 50 likes. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. And just to remind folks, you will see the link below here. This is for you guys to take part in this Premier League predictions rankings table. You hear us ranking the teams. You too have the opportunity to rank the teams as well. Before we get into our last team, Tottenham, this is how you guys do it. You click on the link. It leads you to not transfermarket.com. It leads you to here where you get to rank the teams. As Bobby said, we've done this by ranking the first top 8 teams that finished last season. So you got Villas, Forests, Newcastles, and we've added the big 6 in terms of Man United and Tottenham. But we've also added them because they've had significant business in this transfer summer. So we'll be remiss not to include them. And so you go onto the website. You click, I think Forest will finish top, Arsenal second, Villa third, Man United fourth. Click on all the top 10, on all the teams there, get them done, get your rankings in there, and then
you can adjust them, huh? You can adjust them up and down as well.
Exactly. And you can, so if you think, I made a mistake, I can adjust it, I can change it around. You can absolutely do that. So let's see what we've got so far. We've had last time 17 people. We've got 17 people at the moment as well. So look, so far as we've got Liverpool continue at number 1, Arsenal 2, City 3,
Chelsea
Newcastle
in 5th. Interesting.
Chelsea in 5th.
Sorry, I'm on a Newcastle channel. What else should I expect?
What else should you expect? Exactly. But let's see what in terms of Chelsea. So it's a close one for Chelsea. So out of the 17 people that have voted, Chelsea.
Nobody's got us winning. That's my negativity.
Yeah. Chelsea, 6 have got you in 3rd, 5 got you in 4th. So it's pretty tight. Like it's not. Do you know what I mean? It's not too shabby. So guys, if you don't like to see your team at the bottom half of this league table, make sure you come and vote and rank your teams as well. So and you will also see our rankings at the end of the show as well. So let me make sure you got. Just remind myself, Bobby, you got, is Man United for you at 50? Yeah, 52 points.
52, yeah.
And I've got Man United at, did I say 56? I want to say I said 56, right?
You added 14 points, didn't you?
I did. So yes, 56 points.
Yeah, that's 56. So yeah.
I've got Man United. So last but no means least, maybe least for Bobby because he's a Chelsea fan.
I was about to apologize already to say that I don't share this kind of. Like I never understand. I'm not from London, as everybody can tell, so I just did not ever understand this obsession with Spurs and just hating Spurs for the fun of it. So I always felt a lot more against United and Arsenal, who was taking away our lunch earlier in my my adulthood. So, but anyway, Spurs.
I'm probably the same way with a little bit the same with Sunderland because I'm not a Geordie, as you can hear by my accent and whatnot, but obviously you understand it. So, all right. So Tottenham are 17. We finished 17th, excuse me, with 64. It's incredible. They scored 64 goals, which is like that of a top 8 team. They also conceded 65 goals, which is that of a close to a relegation team. With a -1 goal difference and 38 games played. Obviously, they won the Europa League as well on top of that. Briefly, Bobby, how would you analyze their season? What's your views on Tottenham? And what's your views on Tottenham?
I want to start at the top. Big news today. I think it was RoboJog as well that was asking earlier in the chat about thoughts on Daniel Levy leaving.
Yes.
Look, I think it's an interesting choice to go at this point in time. I'm not necessarily at the beginning of the season is good and right after the transfer window. But they should have left last year or not at this point in time. I just feel as though this is a bit of a distraction going into an important season for them. But look, upstairs should be quiet, and the focus should be on the pitch. And I think they've hired an excellent manager. Now, of the managers that Chelsea would have been looking at last year, it came down to him and Maresca, which again was something that I was looking at, and I would have held my nose and hoped for Frank. But he's a good manager. I think he shows you why coaching matters. The difference between him and Ange is just stark.
Yes.
And therefore, we can expect a positive goal difference. I think so. At that manager level, he knows how to set up a team. He does have his weaknesses, because I think the way he got exposed by Bournemouth on the weekend shows that he's got, like, that was just too easy for them to be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
But they've done some excellent business. Xavi Simons, I think, is an important acquisition. Tell was a terrible piece of business. I don't understand that. But I think Kolo Muani is interesting. Now, I say interesting because the challenge that I have with this team is that I don't think, unlike Newcastle, I don't think they have anybody that's really decisive, who I know for sure gonna put it away if 1 in 4 chances at least. Like who on this team has got that kind of conversion rate that in a tight game they're gonna tuck it away, right?
Yes.
Richarlison, I think, is underrated as a player. If he can stay fit, I think he could be deadly. I like him a lot. I think he gets a lot of hate for no reason, but for me, if he can stay fit, he can be important. Kolo Muani, I think, he's very frustrating as a striker.
Hold on. So, can you hear me, Bobby?
Yeah, I can.
Go back on Richarlison. What is your? You said that you feel like he's underrated. And look, I don't know if you can see. Have I got the league tape? Have I got the lineup?
Yeah, you got him up.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you've got it up. Yeah.
Just to kind of on Richarlison and what you were saying, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I thought it was interesting because it might highlight what you were saying. I thought this was interesting lineup here because with Kolo Muani and Solanke in the middle, Richarlison on the left. When I was I remember doing a football scouting report on him, and they were saying how he prefers to play on the left side rather than through the center because he's not primarily like a target man midfielder. He prefers to play against slightly smaller fullbacks and everything else. What is it? What do you kind of see in Richarlison, just briefly? And would you prefer to see him on the left, or do you think he's fine in the center as well?
As a target man, I get it. I personally, so I get that he doesn't see himself in that light. He's probably he probably sees himself more like a Vinny Jr., that kind of coming in from the right, probably closer to goal, but that kind of left half space kind of pocket right there, edge of the box kind of thing. Yeah. I could see that. The problem is I can't see them having 4 attackers on the pitch. I think 4 attackers tends to be too much. Now, Xavi Simons does have decent defensive stats for the position. So it's actually not bad. My preference for this team would be to add Sarr. Kolo Muani does not start for me. And Xavi Simons kind of pushes up to that left half space kind of thing, which would put Richarlison back in front of goal. I think that, to me, is the better setup. I can't see Sarr. Where's Sarr anyway? Sarr can't be dropped. Oh, there he is, behind Paulinho. I think Sarr is going to be a really pivotal player for them. He's kind of like that Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher, Joel Linton, just more mobile, defensive, recoveries, interceptions.
Do you like Gallagher?
That kind of. Sorry?
Do you rate Gallagher?
Love Gallagher.
Okay. Okay.
I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're crackling a little bit again. What causes it? You think is it
I
because
have
it
no
just
idea.
comes and goes randomly?
I wonder if it's streaming because I'm not even touching the wires or anything like that. Sometimes I do, but not on this occasion. Am I still crackling?
It's going at a faster speed, so it's definitely StreamYard.
Yeah,
But I think
that's StreamYard then.
Yeah, I think you're good now. So yeah, that was my. I think I think they've done some really good business. Palini is a great acquisition, but I think they're gonna be successful if they have a 3-man midfield. I think depending on the profile of what you want in front of goal, I feel like Javi Simons has to be that starting left-hand player to get that 3-man midfield. It makes the left side a little narrow though, because I think they'll have to bring back Udogi because Spence is not going to hold the width far up the pitch for them, right? On that left-hand side, if Simons is on the left there. So I think that's the challenge. But look, really good squad, really good manager. I think they're going to do significantly better than they did last year. I want to say they're probably going to finish with points in the low 60s. But I expect them to not go deep in the Champions League. So I think they'll prioritize the league, and therefore I think they'll get a good. They're going to try to make. They know that the path to UCL football again the following year is a good performance in the league. They're going to feel they can't win the So I think they're going to prioritize the league. I think they're going to get a good 65, 68 points somewhere up in there.
So remember they finished with 38 points last season. If they get 68 points, that'll be a 30-point swing. 65 would be a 27-point swing. It's not impossible. We did it.
That's what Chelsea got, and I think this team is actually better than our team last year.
And I think the manager, you're right in terms of the balance. So I think that what a lot of teams are trying to do, and I think Frank is trying to do it, is obviously be able to attack with 5 and defend the 5. And I think they can find that balance. And I think how it might work is with obviously because they've got really I like their centre backs. I don't mind their centre backs. You might have a Paulinho or Bentancur sharing the workload in terms of screening the back 4 or back 3, depends how they want to do it. With Xavi joining the front 3 and whoever in the 8, whether it's Bentancur or Azar or Assar joining in as well. They will get caught out sometimes. They've still got to learn some stuff. Obviously, they've just come from an Ange era to now a disciplined, more balanced, structured Frank era. I think they like to play in the Frank, and I feel like with that disciplined structure, they actually feel more free. I think Bournemouth are just a fantastic team. I really do think Bournemouth are fantastic. They can do that to anybody.
And he's a really good coach.
And he's a really, really good coach. His shape and how he presses, it's just absolutely phenomenal. And I think Frank would have learned a lot about Tottenham through that team. Champions League, I don't think we're going to know how good Tottenham are in this season because of Champions League. I take what you said about they're not going to put as much effort into not effort. That's not what you said, but like they're going to prioritize the Premier League. However, they still have to play. They still have to play the Champions League, isn't it? And they can't. I'll say it, they can't not put the effort in. They can't. They have to still show up. So, as much as I can see them having a 25 to 30 points swing, as you've got them, have you got them on 68 points? So have you got them on what? How many points have you got Tottenham on?
I have got them. Let me go with 63.
Spurs 63. So that's from 38.
I have them in my personal table prediction. I had them in position 6, but I think they're going to be a battle for Chelsea. I think Maresca should be looking over his shoulder at Frank.
Do you think they'll look at the domestic cups as well?
No, that makes 0 sense.
Yeah,
both for Newcastle and Spurs. Y'all got your trophies last year. You're not chasing the silverware. The goal is to establish yourselves as a UCL team. And I'm sure these guys are going to be very, very focused on league position. That prize money that qualification money is too rich to be messing around with domestic cups.
So you've got Spurs on 63. I've got Spurs on 58. I don't think they'll break that 60 barrier just yet. I think, yeah, but I might be wrong. So I'm a little bit more lower than yourself. So 63 from Bobby, 68 from you. But guys, in the chat, let us know your thoughts. Let me just put the final points in. Bobby said 63. And as always, folks, let me just go back actually, because I'll make sure I put the link up. Make sure you send in, click the link, and rank your teams. I'm going to show mine and Bobby's rankings in the moment. You notice that we did it by points. Let's see what we get. I'm going to ask Bobby if the final table he sees, whether it matches what he's already got. We've got a little private experiment to see how it works out.
Your mic is messing around again, but that is where your approach of using points is actually going to be revealing, because I think it's going to be different to what I predicted, where I predicted based on position, not points. But anyway, keep going.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Let me put that there. Let me get the final.
Where did the chat end up though? With the
Say that again?
Where did the chat end up with their table that they voted on?
Let's do it. So we've got to the end of the show. Make sure Dan Phillip is teleporting. Is it that bad? Is my mic that bad, guys? Jeez.
It's better now. It's good now. Right now it's good.
Yeah. All right.
Right,
so
perfect.
Before my mic goes off again, I'll go back into space. As we're heading towards the show, let's see what you guys have got into the rankings table. Let's see where the teams are at. Let me lower this first, and then we'll see mine and Bobby's at the end, and then we're going to conclude the show. So let me see this first. So that's here we go. This is share this tab instead. All right, so final results, and guys, absolutely phenomenal. I think we've got, I don't know how many likes we've got, but last time did they say got 50 likes, something 50, like
that? Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal conversion rate. And again, my first time doing polls on here. And for the folks I don't know, if you're wondering, like, how come he's not doing polls on the YouTube? How come I've not seen it live like I do it on the other channels? You have to be monetized. I didn't know this until today, as we were planning the show. You have to be monetized to be able to do it live. So I don't know how many people have subbed on today, but I encourage folks to like, share, and subscribe. I think I'm about like 60 subs away from 1,000. Which is what 1,000 subs, which is what you need to be able to be monetized. So, folks, if you can help me out, so I don't have to go flicking through different sites to be able to do the post. I really love today's post show. There were 17 responses, phenomenal. So yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe.
I thought we would have like 5. I was worried.
Yeah, absolutely. At least, but the response has been absolutely phenomenal. So we've got 17. Folks that voted, and you guys have said in the chat, Liverpool for this season will finish first, and we've got 11 people, so pretty conclusive out of 17. 11 people said first, 5 people said second. Arsenal will finish again, kind of the opposite way around. We'll finish second with 7 people saying second, 5 people saying first, Man City third, Newcastle United in 4th position, Chelsea 5th, Tottenham 6th, Villa 7th, Brighton 8th, Forest 9th, and Man United. Let me see what people said for Man United. They said, wow.
Is this just Jordy here for the mics?
We've got a lot of other fans in here, so... Or maybe they just listen to our informed opinions. So That's how the folks have got it, with Liverpool as the winners, and the top Champions League positions being occupied. Well, it depends. Is it going to? You assume it's going to be 5 teams. Not too much change from last season, which is interesting. So let's see what is mine and Bobby's table now. I've been doing it in the background while we've been speaking. So let me get back on the screen and be able to share it. So you guys have noticed that me and Bobby have been doing it in points. Someone Martin Bland says we love it like that. We don't mind external polling. Too many rely on super chats. We can actually have a conversation here, and you listen to each and every one of us. Thanks, Martin Bland. Really appreciate it. That's super, super encouraging. And Bobby will know that.
And the benefits of a small channel, but I think you were fast outgrowing the amount of comments you've been getting lately.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal, honestly. So let me see it. Share. Let's see where me and Bobby have ended up with our prediction. 45 watching. Let's go. Let's get 45 likes at least. Absolutely. I thought we had 50, but fine. If we go 40, whatever, however we got.
Maybe he was saying we needed to get to 50, and not that we had 50.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get up. Can you see the table? Can you see my thing?
I can. Yeah.
All right. So let me just so you can see who it is first. So let me just bring it a little bit closer together. All right. So to the left is Bobby. I'm going to ask Bobby because he done his own table first. Bobby's got Liverpool 91st of 94 points, Arsenal 79 points in second, Man City in third with 71 points, joint third or fourth with Newcastle United of 71 points, Chelsea on 69, Brighton and Tottenham both on 63 points, sixth and seventh, Villa with 56 points on eighth, Forest with joint. You've got a lot of joint positions here, Bobby, with 56 points, and Man United 10th on 52 points. So you're not too. We're not. I think that table is not too much in disagreement with what the chat was saying. Does it match your league table that you did, Bobby? On your own?
It does not. I certainly did not have Newcastle finishing ahead of Chelsea in my personal table. That was more my tribalism, probably. But I think my comments on the thing were that it's a pretty good team. So look, I think Newcastle is going to go deep into the Champions League, as I said. Although you probably shouldn't. But yeah, look, I think that's the only difference. I got Spurs ahead of Brighton, but right here I have them tight. So yeah, this is about close to what I was thinking.
Yeah, not too far. Just the main difference is Chelsea and Newcastle. For me, we both got Liverpool first. I've got my points are slightly lower than yours though. Liverpool on 88, Arsenal second with 81, Newcastle third. I've got on 71 points. Man City fourth, whereas you got Man City third on 68 points. Chelsea scored I've got you guys going a little bit backwards on 64 points. Villa then sixth. Where have you got Villa?
You got us going backwards big time.
I've got Villa. I think I'm going to blame it on you, Bobby. You kind of convinced me. Villa 58 points on sixth. You got Villa on 56 points on eighth. Not too far apart. Forest seventh. Brighton eighth. Tottenham ninth. Even though Tottenham ninth and Man United 10th. Everyone's got Man United overwhelmingly on 10th. It's mad seeing it now in like this. I didn't know that I would have Newcastle that high, but when obviously now that we've done it on points and everything else, is really, really interesting. Really, really interesting to see. How was that for you, Bobby?
I feel like we got Tottenham a little bit too low. But yeah, I think we're not too far off, and I think this could be it. Look, a lot of spending was done by the original Big Six, so we need to be wary of that.
Yes.
And Manchester United again. I think there's a no. We got them in 10th. but I think they can make a tweak, I think, and they could be pretty good, particularly since they
Yes.
only have one thing to focus on this year. So yeah, look, enjoy this, Philip. It's been fantastic going through this exercise, and let us plan to come back at the end of the season and give ourselves an evaluation.
I'll be like, oh, where did that show go? I can't find the show. Like, oh no, there's no. Is it
At least
deleted?
it's not a
Oh,
bad channel, so we can make a mistake here and be okay.
yeah. Well, you never know. There'll always be someone that will find you. But look, I'm not ashamed of it. Well, pretty much, I like to think the fact that we did it on points. I didn't do it on teams, and we went through previous league forms. We did transfer. We looked at transfer history or in terms of this transfer, looking at players that they brought in and sold for teams. We then looked at their whole lineups and we looked at their squad depth, Bobby. You know what I mean? We didn't just say, oh, it's Man United, or we said, oh, it's Chelsea, or it's this, that. I think, we did our best to be
It's pretty
as
objective.
pretty as objective as possible. And the magnificent chat, we're chatting, and we had also the table from the chat as well. So chat, if I'm going to get stick for getting this table absolutely wrong at the end of the season, you're going to get the stick as well. We're all in it.
Yep.
We're all in this. We're all in this together, guys. But as always, guys, I don't know how many likes and subscribers I've got, but I'm always confident with our conversion rate. I'm sure it's pretty high. Your response to the external poll has been absolutely phenomenal. And it's good to get feedback from you guys that you guys enjoyed that part as well. Putting it together, you just never know what's going to happen. I really want to thank Bobby, as always, just from even just behind the scenes, putting it together, being on the show 2.5 hours. He did past midnight here anyway. Absolutely phenomenal, Bobby. I really want to thank you. Where can folks find you, sir?
At Bobby Fairview on X.
And he's
always happy to have a conversation. Yeah.
And I always enjoy reading his comments on X as well. And I learned tremendously a lot. So, and I want to say thank you to the chat. And always, folks, make sure you look after each other. And God bless, folks.